or what questions you have that I can answer. Nobody? 6, thank you. I was about to say, y'all literally just said you had some questions. What? What does that mean? Let's see, y equals 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 2. What form is this? Intercept form, x-intercept form. How many points does this give me? 2. Remember, the number of parentheses tell you how many points it gives you. And anything in parentheses takes on the opposite sign, so remember that. All right, so what are these x-intercepts? 3 and negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and plot those. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now what do I need? The vertex, the axis of symmetry, right? So to find that axis of symmetry, what am I going to do? Average the two x's, right? So for my vertex, I'm first going to find the x. So I do 3 plus negative 2 divided by 2, which is 1/2. So that means my axis of symmetry is about right there. How do I find the corresponding y part? Plug it in. Okay, so 3 times, y'all probably don't even remember that commercial, do you? Plugins, Blade plugins. And they always used to sing that little jingle. Plug it in, plug it in. Y'all are a tough crowd, I'm telling you. Okay, a half minus 3 would be negative 2.5, which is negative 5 over 2. A half plus 2 is positive 2.5, which is 5 over 2. What does that give me? 25 times 3 would be 7. Of course, you can use a calculator if you have one. Negative 75 over 4. So y'all can help me out. 18.75? Thank you. So, gross, you didn't have room. So, I would have just come down here way below the graph and just labeled it 1/2 negative 18.75. So that everybody knows you found the correct one, but there you go. Or if you extended your graph and counted down, or if you went by 2s, whatever you want to do is fine. What about the domain? I feel like somebody said it, but very, very quietly. Negative infinity, infinity. How about the range? Bottoms up. Negative what? 18.75. We need to do some like together reading. What is it that you do in church? What's it called where you read together? What's it called? Y'all, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Where everybody reads together of past. Y'all, what in the world? Okay, up to infinity. Y'all are making this awkward for me. Like, y'all make me sweat. I get nervous. It's okay. Y'all just don't like to talk to me. All right. Anything else on your homework? Going once. Twice. So, oh, did you have, oh, okay. Number 5. Oh, number 5's got another fraction. Y'all, fractions are our friends. Fractions are some of our friends. Intercept form again, 2 parentheses, yes. Where's it crossing? Negative 2 and positive 3. Then I find the vertex just like before. Average them together. 3 and negative 2 over 2. It's another fraction. We love fractions. Yay! All right, plug it in to find the y. 1/2 plus 2. It's the same numbers, y'all. Did I write the same one again? Oh, Stacy. I told you y'all make me nervous. Negative 1/3. X plus 2x minus 3. Okay. Negative. But it's still the same axis of symmetry, yes? And the same y-intercept. Crazy, crazy. Okay. 1/2, which means these are still 5/2s. Y'all stop me if I'm doing something wrong. Don't let me do the whole thing wrong. So this time it's going to be positive 18.75? No, because I'm dividing by 3. 25/12. Is that right? 6/12. So a little past 2. 2 and a 12th. I'm just going to put it right there. Is that what y'all got? 2.0 something? Is that not right, Henry? Is that not right? You did it wrong, Henry? Are you sure? Mine's right. I'm telling you. Okay, just keep it together, Henry. Keep it together, okay? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Okay. All right. How about the domain? Negative infinity, infinity. How about the range? Negative infinity, this time up to whatever that comes out to be. Yes, no, maybe so. Yay! Are y'all ready? Yeah. That's fine. Okay. No, but I have some calculators up here. 2 places. I don't know how who did y'all had Lopez? How did she teach y'all to factor, if you remember? Oh, so y'all didn't learn it in class. Okay, I'm going to teach you as if you've never seen it. How about that? All right, so let's just go there. Let's just pretend like nobody in here knows how to factor. Okay, so factoring is actually the opposite of multiplication, but it's not division. It's undoing multiplication is what it's doing. That's maybe a better word. So what y'all are, yes, kind of, yes. So what y'all are used to doing, or what I hope you can do, is taking two things like this, which looks like what form of a quadratic? Intercept form, and putting it in standard by multiplying it out. Now, how do I multiply two binomials like this? Binomial means two pieces. It's a FOIL problem, right? You won't hear me say FOIL a whole lot because I like distributing better, because you can always distribute polynomials. FOIL only works with a 2 by 2, right? But whatever way, understand just what it is. A lot of times we can say FOIL and it clicks you into what we're doing. So we take the very first term, right? And it distributes through to everything in that second set of parentheses. So what is x times x? X squared. And what is x times negative 3? Negative 3x. Now I'm done with this first one because it's already multiplied to everybody. So now I move to the next piece, which is a 1. And he's got to go to everybody, right? He's got to multiply through. So 1 times x, that's where y'all say x, and then 1 times negative 3, negative 3, right? So, and then if there was another, so I'm done with this one now. If there was another plus or minus, then I would circle that one, and that one would go through to everything. So it doesn't matter how many pieces are there. Everybody's got to multiply to everybody else. Does that make sense? And then clean it up a little bit. What do I have to do? Simplify by doing what? Combining like terms. What's a like term? Same variable and same exponent on the variable. Because see, these both have x's, right? But this one's got an exponent of 2. This one's got an exponent of, try again, 1, right? Imaginary 1. If it's 0, anything to the 0 power is 1, it would just go away. So these two are my like terms, and how do I combine them? Add them together. What am I adding? The what? Starts with a C. Coefficients. Good job. Coefficients. I hope I'm not insulting your intelligence by walking you through foiling like you've never seen it before. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Can everybody go forwards like this with multiplication? Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this and back up. We're going to undo that FOIL and back up to make it in that intercept form. Okay? All right, a couple things before we do that I need to make sure you remember how to do. If I say GCF, greatest common factor, explain it to me. The biggest number they have in common, what kind of common? What do you mean? Divisible by. That's exactly right. Factor means divisible by with no remainder, right? So I'm looking for the biggest number that I can divide them both by. So if I gave you 6x and 18, what is the GCF? 6, right? Biggest that I can divide them both by. So it's easy to start getting multiples and factors confused. Factors divide, multiply. Multiples, multiply. So here the GCF would be 6. What if I gave you what's the GCF? Gosh, same number. Stacy, get it together. GCF 9x. I was trying to throw you. You got 9x because I can divide both of them by x and it stays the same, right? I mean, and it goes into there. They both have an x to give, in other words. Now, what if I threw a plus sign in the middle of these? So let's say I took this same 18x squared and I made it plus 27x and I said take out the GCF. Have y'all heard that before? Do you know what I'm talking about whenever I say take it out? In other words, put it on the undistribute it from both pieces and put it on the outside. So we already said the GCF was 9x. So if I take that out, put it on the outside, undistribute it, go backwards on that, right? What's left in this first spot? 2x. What's left in that last spot? 3. If you were to distribute, would you come back to what you started with? Yes, so I know I did it right. Does everybody understand the concept of GCF? This is the most basic form of factoring. It is still factoring. It is just factoring out a monomial, which means one term, instead of factoring into two binomials. Can everybody in here factor out a GCF? Are you going, I thought this was honors. What are we doing? Are y'all okay? All right. You don't talk. I don't know why I ask y'all questions, because you don't talk to me. Okay. I'm going to teach you my favorite way to factor. I like ways that always work. I'm good on shortcuts and I like shortcuts, but I like to learn shortcuts after I know the one way that's always going to work for me, so that if I decide I just want to learn that way and be good with it, then I can just learn that way. So I'm going to teach you the one way that always works to factor quadratics, okay? I don't know how you learned it before, if you learned it at all, but this is actually called factor by grouping. It's, in my opinion, the most accepted way to factor. Some of you might have done, I think some of the middle school teachers do something called like slip and slide or something, or do y'all? Yeah, they have all kinds of little cutesy names for different things. But at the end of the day, they work sometimes and sometimes they don't, and they get quite confusing. This always works. And this makes logical sense to me. So I always teach you what makes sense to me because I feel like it helps. All right, so I should have got my one example. I posted a sheet with a step sheet. I know that some of you like it and some of you don't, that I made for factoring. If you want it, it's in Canvas. If you don't, that's okay too. But I think I will just start. The easiest way is just to start with an example. Let's see. Let's get a good one. So your directions are just to factor the quadratic, okay? So in order to do this, my first step, and this is always going to be your first step in factoring, no matter what, you are always, before you start anything, check for a GCF. If you have a GCF, we need to undistribute it out, okay? It's going to make your factoring life a whole lot easier if you do that. So do I have a GCF in this quadratic? Yes, 2. Take it out. What do you have left if I take it out? 4x squared. What's left in the middle? Just an x minus 5. Anybody confused on that? Just divide it by that GCF. Undistribute it. Undistribute it. Okay. If I need to check anything I've done, how do you think I can check to see if it works? Redistribute, because I'm undistributing, so if I distribute, I should get back where I started, right? Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. We've got this. I'm going to ignore this 2. It's just going to follow my problem down, but I'm going to act like it's not there while I'm factoring, okay? If you didn't have a GCF, you just have a regular little quadratic here. And here's the fun part. Take the first and the last number or term and multiply them together. So 4x squared times negative 5. What do you get? What's 4x squared times negative 5? Negative 20. Y'all are so, it's like y'all are so hesitant, you're whispering it right, but you're, okay. It's okay to be wrong sometimes too, y'all. I'm wrong a lot. All right, negative 20x squared. Does everybody see where that came from? Okay. Now here's the puzzle. This is the fun part. I love a good puzzle. I need 2 things. They have to multiply to negative 20x squared, but they have to add to whatever is in the middle right here. Okay? So 2 things that multiply together to give me negative 20x squared, but add to negative 1x. So let's start thinking about all the things that multiply to negative 20x squared. And we're going to, if it's ever x squared, we're going to make sure each one has an x on it. So tell me some things that multiply to 20, negative 20, that you know of right off the top. 4 and 5, so I could have negative 4x and 5x. I could have 4x and negative 5x, because I got to watch those signs, right? Remember, it's got to multiply to a negative. What else multiplies to negative 20? 10 and 2. I could have 10x and negative 2x. I could have negative 10x and 2x. Anything else that multiplies to 20? 20 and 1. 20x. You won't have to list all these out every time. I'm just really over explaining this so that you have this so you can see where everything's coming from. Because this, again, is the puzzle part, right? Now, if I were to throw a plus in between each one of these, because they're all like terms, yes? Throw a plus in the middle of each one. Which one adds up to negative x? That's what tells me it's the right one, okay? I can ignore all the rest. These are my 2 magic numbers. That's the hardest part of factoring. If you can, bless you, if you can GCF, you can factor, if you can find these 2, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I've got the 2 on the outside. Remember, I'm just ignoring that. I've got 4x squared, but what I'm going to do is instead of writing this as negative x, I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm going to put the negative first. The order does not matter. It does not matter what order you put this in. I'm going to put negative 5x, and I'll tell you why whenever we're done, plus 4x, because that's the same thing, right? Look, that adds to the same exact thing. It's just like writing, instead of writing 5, writing 2 plus 3. It's still 5, you just wrote it different. This is still negative x, I just wrote it a little bit different, okay? And then the minus 5 is still there. Is anybody confused? Everybody okay? Am I going too fast? Too slow? Everybody good? A little too slow. Speed it up a little bit. All right. Slash it in the middle. What do I mean by slash it? I mean literally slash it, because we're going to look at it as 2 different problems. Now, this is why I said if you can GCF, you can factor. Remember, the 2 He's just that aggravating little friend you got that just follows behind you all the time, little brother or something, right? It's just there. 2. What can I take out of the first 2? In other words, what's the GCF of the first 2 terms? X. If you take an X away from both of those, what is left? 4X minus 5. Now, you're always going to pull down the middle sign. What's the GCF of these 2? Okay, you say there isn't one. I say everything has at least one. What is it? 1, right? I can divide everything by 1 and not have a remainder. Do you agree or disagree? So if you don't have a GCF or you think you don't have a GCF, put a 1, okay? Because 1 does divide. And if I divide it by 1, I just get the same thing. Anybody confused? All right, at this point, if you've done things correctly, if you've solved your puzzle correctly, these 2 parentheses will look exactly the same, okay? They are now my new GCF. In other words, I've got X times blah plus 1 times the same blah, right? I'm going to pull the blah out. Just like I pulled an X out of the first 2, I'm going to take the 4X minus 5 out of these 2 now. If that confuses you, whatever's written twice, write it once. Scratch it out. So in other words, 2, if I take the 4X minus 5 out, what I'm left with is X plus 1. Some people like to do that. Students always get confused, but it was written twice. Why is it only written once now? Well, I'm technically factoring it out again. I'm technically GCFing it one more time. What do you think about factoring that way? More complicated? Do you think it's more complicated? It does always work. So a lot of people will teach you a method with if there's a leading coefficient of 1, if there's a bigger leading coefficient, if the second sign is a minus, you have different rules. I like it to always work. Once you get the hang of it, though, you'll be able to factor in your sleep, I promise. All right, let's do one. Let's do another one together. My biggest word of advice is to make sure you check for GCF before you start. Okay, y'all ready? Yes, Miss McGee, we're ready. Good. 2y squared plus 9y minus 5. What's my first step? GCF. Is there a GCF? Nope. That makes it easier on me. They are not all going to have a GCF to start with, and that's okay. All right, tell me what to do now. Multiply. First and last together. What do you get? Negative 10y squared. Solve the puzzle. What multiplies to negative 10 but adds to positive 9? And if you can't figure it out, write them all out. What you got, Angela? 10 and negative 1. 10y, negative 1y. Adds to 9? Yep. Multiplies to negative 10? Yep. It's always easier if you have one positive and one negative if you do the negative first, but I'm going to do the positive first this time just to show you it still works and show you what happens whenever it's like that. All right, so I'm going to rewrite instead of 9y, I'm going to do 10y minus y. Again, that's still 9, I just wrote it differently. I wrote 10 minus 1 instead of writing 9. Flash it and GCF it to death, right? I'm going to GCF the first 2, GCF the last 2, and then GCF the final thing. So if you can GCF, you got it. What's the GCF of the first 2? 2y. When that's gone, what's left? Y plus 5. The middle sign has to stay, and that's the kicker here. And that's why we generally, if we have mixed terms, we put a we put the negative one first, but it doesn't matter because this method always works. If this is ever a minus, so if the middle sign is a minus, the last sign changes when you factor. And it doesn't really change, but I'll show you what the last sign. What's the GCF of y and -5? 1, right? But because this is minus, I have to take out this negative, right? So I'm really dividing both of these by -1. So negative y divided by -1 is y, and -5 divided by -1 is +5. So you see how that last sign changed from what it was? That's why. Is because if that middle sign is a minus, that last sign is going to be the opposite. That's the hardest thing to remember. All right, so tell me what this looks like factored. What's the common factor here that you're going to take out for GCF? Y plus 5. And what's left? 2y minus 1. What do you think? Yeah? Some of y'all are looking like, holy crap, it just hit the fan. And then others of you are like, some of you won't make eye contact with me, but that's okay. Shall we do uno mas? Let me actually give you this sheet because I'm actually working problems off of this sheet with you. I'm not going to have you do all of them. We need to practice. We'll probably practice with factoring tomorrow for sure. Huh? We probably will do a portion. I got to look and see what I've done. We worked. This one was actually number 3. This one was actually number 10. We actually worked 10 and 3. As soon as everybody gets their sheet, I'll let y'all pick which one you want me to do. You can, since we've done them. And then you can, whenever we do another one, you can copy that one in there. Yeah. Pass them over. I didn't count. We might have a few. We won't have a lot because we're kind of out of time. Quiz makes us run short on time. If you got extras, you can just stick them on that blue table back there, and I'll grab them eventually. Does everybody have one? Everybody got enough? All right, look at them and give me one to work. Which one looks the hardest to you? 14. Here we go. No? 7? It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. We'll say tonight, let's, what time is it? 9:15. Let's just do the odds on here. And I'll work through a couple with you, whatever. If you understand and you want to go ahead and be working through, because I go a little bit slower since I'm explaining as I go. So if you got it and you're good, feel free to work on. If you need to watch, this is one of your homework ones, so you can watch with me and we can do it together, whatever you prefer. All right, GCF here. Do I have one? Do I have a GCF? No, I don't have a GCF, right? So I want to go ahead and multiply first and last together. 36m squared. By the way, I don't know if this is one of them. It's not. But some of them, if you get to this point and there are not two factors no matter what, you can have some things that can't be factored. And you say CBF cannot be factored. I don't know that any on this sheet are like that. I can't remember, but I don't remember. It's very rare. All right. What are the factors that work? What multiplies to 36 but adds to -13? -9 m, and that's right, -4. Choosing two negatives here because two negatives do multiply to a positive, but they add to a negative. Okay, so you got to remember all those positive negative rules. But outside of that, all right, so I have 6m squared minus 9m minus 4m plus 6. Flash that bad boy. Y'all don't even laugh whenever I make stupid, corny jokes. Y'all just, golly. Y'all don't even make fun of me. My other classes make fun of me. All right, what's the GCF of the first two? 3 what? M. What's left? 2m minus 3. The middle sign stays, but uh-oh, that middle sign is a minus, which does what? Changes that last sign, right? All right, what's the GCF of the last two? 2. What's left when I take that out? 2m minus 3. If these two parentheses are not exactly the same, you did something wrong, back up and try again. Okay, that's your check right there halfway through the problem. Make sure you did it right. Now my common factor is 2m minus 3. What's left? What do you think? I always say when you get out of Algebra 2, you should be able to factor left, right, up, down in your sleep because we do it so much. Definitely the foundational takeaway from Algebra 2. Do I need to do another one, or are y'all okay? Switch these factors up. So it would be 3m minus 2 times 2m minus 3, which is fine because multiplication is commutative. And just quickly to show you in case you don't believe me. If I factored it this way, that's a good question though, and I did forget to say it. I can take out a 2m, I can take out a 3, and so I'm left with 3m minus 2 times 2m minus 3, and it's the same thing. They're just in the reverse order, but it's okay. Good question though. Any other questions?